After more than 30 years together, Mark Consuelos has learned that loving Kelly Ripa isn't about grand gestures or perfectly timed advice. It's about emotional awareness. Over decades of shared life, he has quietly mastered when to speak, when to stay silent, and when simply being present matters most. During a pre-recorded segment on their show, this understanding came through naturally as they discussed how certain phrases can unintentionally escalate emotions instead of soothing them. Their conversation felt less like performance and more like two people who genuinely know each other well. Beneath the laughter was a deeper truth. Long-term relationships thrive not because partners always get it right, but because they keep learning each other. Mark's attentiveness and Kelly's honesty revealed how emotional intelligence becomes a shared language over time, shaping a marriage rooted in patience, awareness, and mutual respect. When good intentions go wrong. The couple's playful discussions centered on a universal truth. Even well-meaning words can land badly when emotions are heightened. Kelly pointed out that phrases meant to comfort often miss the mark because they prioritize fixing over understanding. Mark, with good humor, admitted he learned this lesson the hard way, recalling moments when saying the wrong thing only made situations worse. Their exchange struck a chord because it reflected something deeply relatable. Most people want to help, but few are taught how to do so emotionally. The laughter in the studio didn't minimize the point, it softened it. Their conversation reminded viewers that intentions matter, but impact matters more. Real connection begins when partners slow down, listen closely, and resist the urge to smooth over feelings before they've been fully heard and acknowledged. The trouble with calm down. Few phrases ignite frustration faster than being told to calm down, and Kelly didn't hesitate to name it as one of the most counterproductive responses in a relationship. Mark joked that nothing escalates tension more quickly, a realization he arrived at through experience rather than theory. Their banter revealed a deeper emotional insight. Telling someone to calm down often dismisses the very feelings that need acknowledgement. Instead of offering comfort, it can feel like a refusal to understand. Kelly's teasing and Mark's self-aware humor made the lesson accessible without sounding preachy. The takeaway was clear. Emotional moments aren't about control, they're about connection. By sharing their own missteps openly, they modeled growth rather than perfection, showing that emotional wisdom in marriage is built slowly through trial, reflection, and a willingness to adapt with empathy. Inherited words, learned reactions. Kelly reflected on phrases she grew up hearing, particularly ones her father often used, like, "it is what it is." While sometimes meant to be grounding, those expressions can feel dismissive depending on the moment. This insight opened a broader conversation about how family language shapes emotional responses in adulthood. The words we inherit often become default reactions, even when they don't serve our partners well. Mark listened attentively as Kelly unpacked how those phrases made her feel, illustrating how understanding each other's emotional history strengthens connection. Their exchange highlighted that communication isn't just about what's said, it's about where it comes from. Recognizing these patterns allows couples to choose their words more thoughtfully, replacing automatic responses with intentional ones. It's another reminder that lasting relationships require curiosity about each other's inner worlds, not just shared routines. Why platitudes miss the mark. The couple also touched on familiar comfort phrases like, "everything happens for a reason," or "others have it worse," noting how often they fall flat. While commonly used, these statements can unintentionally minimize pain rather than soothe it. Kelly emphasized that when someone is struggling, they rarely need perspective or comparison. They need validation. Mark agreed, acknowledging that learning to sit with discomfort instead of trying to resolve it was one of his biggest relationship lessons. Their discussion reframed emotional support as presence rather than performance. The goal isn't to erase pain with wisdom, but to make room for it without judgment. By laughing at how often people rely on cliches, they gently encouraged viewers to do better. True comfort, they suggested, comes from listening closely and responding with care, rather than default phrases. Listening as a daily practice. One of the most meaningful insights from their conversation was the idea that listening is never mastered. It's practiced daily. Mark and Kelly acknowledge that despite decades together, they still misread each other at times. What matters isn't avoiding mistakes, but repairing them with honesty and humility. Mark's teasing admissions and Kelly's candid responses showed how openness keeps communication alive. Listening, in their view, isn't passive. It requires attention, patience, and restraint. It means resisting the urge to interrupt, solve, or redirect emotions. Their dynamic illustrated that emotional presence often speaks louder than words. By modeling imperfect but intentional listening, they normalized the idea that strong marriages aren't built on flawless communication, but on a shared commitment to keep showing up emotionally, even when it's uncomfortable or messy. Humor as emotional glue. What makes Kelly and Mark's conversations resonate is their ability to blend humor with emotional depth. Their playful teasing never undercuts the seriousness of what they're discussing. Instead, it creates safety. Laughter becomes a bridge that allows difficult truths to surface without defensiveness. A glance, a pause, a knowing smile all communicate years of shared understanding. Humor in their relationship isn't avoidance. It's connection. It softens tension and reminds them they're on the same team. Their dynamic shows that emotional maturity doesn't require solemnity. Joy and vulnerability can coexist, strengthening intimacy rather than diluting it. By laughing through sensitive topics, they demonstrate how humor can be a powerful tool for resilience, helping couples navigate emotional complexity without losing warmth, affection, or mutual respect. Choosing presence over fixing. A central theme of their discussion was the importance of presence over problem solving. Mark admitted that early in their marriage, he often tried to fix Kelly's feelings, believing that solutions equaled support. Over time, he learned that what she needed most was acknowledgement, not answers. Sitting beside someone in their emotion rather than rushing them through it became an act of love. Kelly highlighted how powerful it feels to be accepted in emotional moments without pressure to change. Their conversation reframed support as companionship rather than correction. By choosing presence, they allow emotions to move naturally instead of being rushed away. This shift, though subtle, speaks volumes about emotional growth and mutual respect. It's a reminder that love often looks like patience, not action. Vulnerability without performance. The tone shifted when Kelly reflected on personal family challenges, including health concerns, revealing a quieter side of their partnership. These moments weren't dramatic or staged, they were honest. Mark's response was steady and understated, showing that support doesn't always require words. Their openness offered viewers a glimpse into how they navigate real-life stress together, grounded in trust and shared strength. Vulnerability in their relationship isn't performative, it's mutual. By speaking honestly without oversharing, they demonstrated how emotional transparency builds resilience. These reflections reinforce the idea that even long-established marriages face uncertainty, and that enduring love is sustained through shared emotional labor. Their calm, grounded presence during serious moments underscored that intimacy grows when partners feel safe enough to be fully themselves, even in fear or uncertainty. Showing marriage as it really is. Over the years, their show has evolved into a space where real marriage is visible, complete with humor, friction, affection, and repair. Their on-screen conversations mirror real-life exchanges, making their relationship feel relatable rather than idealized. They don't pretend to have all the answers. Instead, they show the process. Disagreements are acknowledged, misunderstandings revisited, and growth celebrated without glossing over imperfections. This authenticity resonates because it counters unrealistic portrayals of partnership. Viewers aren't watching perfection, they're watching commitment in action. By allowing space for vulnerability and humor side by side, Kelly and Mark normalize the everyday work of love. Their relationship becomes not a standard to meet, but a reminder that enduring connection is built through honesty, effort, and mutual care. The quiet lesson they leave behind. At its heart, their conversation offered a simple but powerful takeaway. Lasting love is rooted in empathy, attention, and shared presence. Kelly and Mark don't present themselves as experts. They present themselves as partners still learning. Through humour, honesty, and reflection, they show that relationships thrive when both people are willing to listen, adapt, and remain emotionally available. Love, as they model it, isn't about avoiding conflict or finding perfect words. It's about staying connected through it all. Their dynamic reminds viewers that emotional intelligence grows through patience, curiosity, and care. In a world that often rushes towards solutions, their example encourages slowing down, tuning in, and choosing understanding. It's a quiet lesson.